Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to do a review of the Tesla style radio that I installed in my 2017 Cadillac ATS. I've had the radio installed now for just over a week, and what I'm going to do is kind of show you some of the screens and give you my impression, pros and cons, and then try to answer some of the questions that have been posed since I posted the installation video. During the video, you won't hear any sound coming out of the stereo system because I've muted all of the video to keep YouTube from throwing a copyright strike against me. So during the initial boot up, you can see it does take a while. However, once you start the car and let's say 10 seconds later you go ahead and put the car in reverse, the backup camera does immediately come up. Once you put the car into drive, then it continues with its boot process. So as you can see, it does take a little while to boot up. Once booted up, you're going to come to, well, I come to this screen, but you are probably more familiar with another screen, and I'll show you the screen that you're probably going to be more familiar with upon first installation, and that's this one. It has your calendar and your time and the car. Now I've installed a launcher which shows this screen. This screen is customizable. I can put any app I want on the screen in several different places, and you add apps by doing this procedure here that I'm showing you. So you just click add widget. These green areas show where a widget can be added, and you just select an area. The apps that can be added are then shown on a screen here. You choose an app, and then there it is. It's pretty simple. It works really well. This is called Car Web Gurus. It's an excellent launcher. I highly suggest it for this system. It has multiple screens left and right if you want to add things like dials. It has an excellent equalizer shown here on the screen. It looks really good when you're driving, or you don't have to have this up while you're playing music. You can just have your home screen up if that's what you prefer, but it looks really good, and it's a great option and a great feature. So a lot of you have questions about the air conditioner and climate controls. As you can see here, you can just click the climate control at the bottom. You do have your heated and cooled seats, but the sync does not work. So you see I just press sync, and notice how the temperature is not changing together. So you click the plus and minus to increase and decrease the fan. Trying to slide it left and right does not work, so you can't slide it. You do have to hit the plus and minus. All of the other features work. You can also press the little small fan and the large fan to increase and decrease fan speed if you don't want to use this climate system that pops up on the screen. I'll go ahead and show you Torque Lite. Torque Lite is an excellent app if you have an OBD2 reader. You do have to get one that is Wi-Fi connected. This will not use a Bluetooth system. I will put a link in the description to the unit that I purchased. I think it was maybe $15. But then you're able to have a lot of different dials, graphs, digital readouts on the screen here for your car. So a lot of you guys that like to race would really enjoy this and probably get more benefit out of it than the average user. Your steering wheel controls still work, fully functional. No issues there with volume, track changing, things like that. This ring is also customizable. I have it set up to go forward and back for tracks, to play, to shuffle, and to turn the volume up and down. If you just press this center section where the Cadillac emblem is, you can rotate through several options as well. You have a clock, you have, again, the Cadillac emblem. Here you have the track, the artwork that goes along with the track as well as the title. You have a compass. Here, your Google, if you're using Google Maps, the directions will show up inside the circle. and then you have a speedometer, digital readout. So now I'm going to show you the menu across the top. If you press the navigation button here across the top, I have it set to Google Maps. You can set it to whatever you would prefer. It comes preloaded with iGo, but iGo is terrible, so I defaulted mine to use Google Maps. I will say that you can download Google Maps, so you can use it offline. You don't have to have an internet connection to use the navigation. You do have internet access as well, just by clicking internet. Media comes up with any files that are saved on the device, or if you're accessing a USB, you also have a RPM and speed readout at the bottom of the screen. Clicking console gets you back to your Cadillac Q screen, and it is functional. So if you click down and up on your temperature, that changes. Click up and down on your fan speed, that changes. Volume is adjustable here. You still have your heated and cooled seats here. Again, sync isn't even on in this section. I don't see it anywhere, but it doesn't work. Next up is the Bluetooth option. Pretty standard. You have your keypad, you have your recent contacts and calls, you have your entire contact list. Just connects to your phone. Really simple. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing difficult to hook up there. You have a video player as well, so if you have video files on a USB or loaded directly to the unit, you can watch videos. I really don't see a point in this while you're driving, especially. An aux input, so if you have a DVD player maybe or something similar to that hooked up, you can use the aux player. Same thing with the TV. A lot of you have asked if you can connect your phone. You can. There's an iPhone Wi-Fi, Android Wi-Fi, and Android USB. Once you connect your phone, it is mirrored here, but there are black bars on either side, so it's kind of narrow. And it's just mirroring your screen, so you can't use the device to control your phone. This is your settings menu, so you can see navigation, your GPS monitor, how to set time and date, language. There's an EQ here that you can set up with a balance and fader section. Here you can also control your night and day brightness. You can also control it at the top of the screen. System rolls into a lot of things that I'm not going to get into. I would suggest not really messing with this too much. It doesn't really do much anyway to take you away from the standard setup. This is your steering wheel control. It works without you having to do anything. There's no reason to move past trying to set it up. This is another advanced system menu. You hold this down, you type in your code 7890. You're going to get a more advanced menu. Again, it's going to show you your vehicle at the top. Don't change this. If you click on system, you get basically the similar options to be able to change some of the settings. Again, I don't recommend you really messing around with this too much. It's not going to change a whole lot of what's going on. If you do change something, just remember what it was so you can change it back. You can restore system functionality back to the original if you mess something up. This is another advanced menu. Here you type in 8861 and you get more of the same that I had mentioned before, just some settings that you can kind of mess around with. Here's your radio zone. You want to pick North America. You also want to do RDS. That is where it will show you the radio stations, songs playing, etc. So now we'll check out the DVR. DVR is if you have a front-facing camera or something like that, that's where this would show up. You have your file manager here. This is going to show you all the files on the tablet. Clicking camera will take you to, you have a right camera. It's not hooked up, but it defaults to the right. I'm not sure why. If you click back, it will show you your backup camera, and you can view this while you're driving. There's no issue with doing that. And here I'll just click back to my home screen, and I'm going to shift the, well, actually what I'm going to do is just close out all these screens that we've had open throughout the video. And now I'll shift the car into reverse, and you'll see that the radar functions still work. The camera looks really good. It's a larger screen than what you have with the standard Q system. It's high definition, so it looks really good. It's much better than the original. So you can also customize this second screen. Again, you just click add widget. Whatever shows up in green is where you're going to have a new widget added. So you can click on whatever you want here to add, and I'll just add something just as an example so you can see what we're looking at here. So we'll just do torque, for example, and you can see now it shows up on that side of the screen. You want to get rid of it, swipe up, click delete, and now it's gone. We'll go back to the regular index. Again, this is something that you're used to seeing, and when you click home it takes you there. Weather, all these things function great. It just depends on how you're connected, whether you're using your Wi-Fi, using your home, or using your phone as a hotspot, or using the Wi-Fi in your car. Everything shows up, everything looks great, it's fast, it's not laggy. As you can see here, that came up really quickly. I'm going to click home, and we're going to take a look at my radar app. As you can tell by the date of this, we're kind of tracking Hurricane Dorian here in Florida, and you can see that I'm on the west coast, but we'll just take a look and see what this comes up with to show weather and radar, so we can see the rain. Again, it loads very quickly, it's smooth, no issues using this application connected. This is an interesting feature that I kind of found out by accident, but if you hold down the date up in the top corner here, it actually is synced to your phone's calendar. So whatever, like if you have a Google Calendar or something like that, it will keep all of your appointments and show you these on a week by week, if that's what you prefer, whenever you hold that down. So it's a neat feature as well. And an important feature that I forgot to mention here is the radio. So if you click the radio icon, you get this screen. It can be extended by clicking this little square. And here you get all of your channels. You can set favorites. You can tune manually by clicking the left and right buttons. You can select between FM and AM. Everything works here, no problems. The tuner is great. But what I'm kind of pointing at over here is you can still use the Cadillac system. And this is one of the pros and cons that I'll kind of mention, is that the Cadillac system still works. The radio is separate from this Tesla style head unit. So even though with the head unit you can get on to things like Pandora and Spotify and iHeartRadio and TuneIn, you can disconnect the aux input. You can go back to the normal Cadillac radio. If you prefer to plug in your like a USB drive to listen to MP3s, you can still do that with your Cadillac system. You can hold down the voice and say play a specific song, and it will come up, and it's not using the Tesla system. It's coming through the regular Cadillac system. It's using the Bose speakers. Everything works like it normally would. But if you prefer to use this head unit, this Tesla style head unit, you can also plug in your MP3s that way. You're listening through the aux input, which some people say is not as good. I don't see that big of a difference. It's still playing through the Bose system. So to me, it's not that big of a difference to listen to either the head unit or the Cadillac system. Also here, if you click on apps, you're going to get this screen. This is going to show you the system apps as well as any downloaded apps that you've put on the system. You can see where I have the Car Web Gurus, but here you also see a TPMS monitor. TPMS monitor is accurate. For some reason it balloons up your tires so they look like this, kind of ridiculous, but it does match exactly what Cadillac is monitoring. So I assume that's coming through the OBD2 somehow, but everything works there. So if you would prefer to see that on the big screen, you can, and if you don't want to put it on the small display in your over by your gauges. So I posted my original installation video online, and then I asked for people to ask me questions about the system. What questions would they want me to answer about the system once I was doing the review? So I'm going to start addressing those questions now. And the first question that came to me was, how do the apps like GPS and weather work? Well, as I showed within this video, you can see that the apps like GPS works great. Comes loaded with iGo, but you can download Google Maps, you can download Waze, whatever you prefer to download. Just whatever you decide to download, remember that you may be working offline. So if you're not connected to your phone as a hotspot or you're not using Wi-Fi, you're not going to get a map. So I use Google Maps because I can download a large area where I live that basically gives me 50 to 100 square miles, and I really don't need to update it that often unless I'm going on a long trip. The only thing I'm missing from that would be live traffic. Other apps, as I've shown in the video, work great. There's nothing in particular that I've downloaded that hasn't worked or that I wanted to work that didn't work. Everything that I've downloaded so far works as it should, just like it does on any tablet. But again, just remember, if you're downloading an app that requires Wi-Fi or an internet connection, that you have to have Wi-Fi active in the vehicle so that you can connect and use the app as it should be. So the next question is, how does the reverse camera work? Well, it works just like I showed you here in the video. You cannot use the stock Cadillac camera. You do need to get a different HD camera, but if you watch my previous installation video, you'll see that you can order one that's just plug and play. It snaps right in to the OEM location with no problems. Works great. It's HD. You still get the line, so as you turn the steering wheel, the line will turn as well to show you where the vehicle will end up going. So it works. To me, it's better than stock. So how do climate controls work? Well, as you can see in what I've shown you in the video and what I'm doing here, climate controls work great, no issues. The only thing that doesn't work is the sync feature, which is fine with me. I don't really have an issue with that, especially if you're normally riding with a passenger who prefers their temperature to be different from yours. No issues adjusting the temperature up and down, no issues adjusting the fan, where the air is coming out, whether it be at your face, chest, or feet. I've not had any issues or glitches with the climate controls. So is the system plug and play? Basically, yes. If you watch my installation video, then you'll see exactly how to install this system. You really can't get it wrong as far as plugging in the wires and harnesses that come with it, both to and from the Cadillac to this Tesla head unit. So basically, yeah, I would say that it is plug and play. There's not a lot of adjustments that need to be made once everything is powered on and working. You can tweak little things here and there, but that's really just to customize it to your liking. So yes, I would say overall, this is plug and play. Next question is the audio garbage? And does it still use the aux input? So I combine these questions because the audio is not garbage, not to me. You're using a Cadillac Bose system. Regardless of whether you have your phone plugged into the aux jack or whatever it happens to be, you're still playing it through the Cadillac amplifier and Bose sound system. The audio quality has not gone down for me. I don't hear a difference. My kids don't hear a difference. My wife doesn't hear a difference. So I would say that the audio is excellent, and yes, it still uses the aux input to get sound from this head unit. And as I explained earlier, you can still use the Cadillac radio and MP3, the USBs, if you want to access that as your music source instead of the aux input for this Tesla style unit. So can you screen mirror, and does Apple CarPlay or Android Auto still work? I'm going to say yes to screen mirroring. I showed you that earlier in the video. You can mirror your screen, but again, you cannot use the head unit itself to control what's on your phone. You're just using your phone to control what you're seeing on the screen. As far as Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, you can buy a box. I'll put a link down in the description. It's $60. You plug it into one of the USB inputs on the unit, and then you plug your phone into that, and then you can have Android Auto or Apple CarPlay on this screen. It's a little too cumbersome for me. It's a lot of wires running around that don't need to be, because I don't really see what you're getting from Android Auto or Apple CarPlay that you're not able to get just by what's already installed on this screen or via an app that you can download. Is it worth it? In my opinion, yes. I paid $475 for this unit shipped from China. That included a new HD plug-and-play camera that replaced the stock one. If you were to replace your Q system with another Q system, you're probably looking at between $400 and $800, maybe even close to $1,000 if you're not under warranty anymore. And these Q systems are going to fail. That's what's prompted me to make this change. The Q system, the screen cracks or becomes unresponsive. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong with those, and so I figured why not just give this one a try. I still have my Q system as a backup if I want to replace it or go back to the original. But I figured I'd give this a try, and so far it's working for me. It's doing everything I need it to do. It's doing everything I want it to do and more. I really like this. I think that value is there for the price and the looks and just overall feel. This to me is what the Cadillac should have come with from the factory. With that, I'll bring the video to a close. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'll answer them as quickly as I can. Any comments about the video, please leave those down in the comment section as well. Please like the video, please subscribe, and again, if you have any questions about this system, how it's used, specific functionality that maybe I didn't cover or maybe I glazed over and you'd like a little bit more information about, just ask. I'll be happy to put it in the comments, or if needed, I can do a follow-up video. Thank you very much for watching.